Just a minute. That there were 9 resolutions passed in the committee report. Is there further discussion? Mr. Ford from the 5th District. Okay. There is a microphone, JD. If you want to come, I can paraphrase for right now. But there is a microphone. If someone speaks, Mr. Ford was a member of the Permanent Resolutions Committee. Indicated it took about 90 minutes to get through the resolutions. I was in there for some of the meeting, and there were a couple that were read in full as well. So that was his comment. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I would move that no reading is necessary.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, point of
order.
Ms. Sanders, we heard from Mr. Cooley from the 3rd District. Ms. Sanders.
There is a motion on the floor, so unfortunately we need to deal with this. My recommendation would be that at the very least you go through the resolves. You don't need to read all the whereases, and that'll cut down on the time. At least people will have a clearer idea of what they're voting on.
Okay. We had in our party rules there were guidance for discussion on floor motions, 2 one-minute rounds of debate. We have heard from Mr. Ford. I think he was making a clarification. We heard from Mr. Cooley, who, well, you have the separate motion, Tyler, I think. Ms. Sanders spoke. So we are at 3, if I count correct. And sir, you were the one that made the motion, so.
Yeah, Mr. Douglas, I'd like to amend my motion to only read the summaries, not just the titles, but the summaries of the resolutions.
Okay. So there's amended motion to read the resolutions by the, if I understand it correctly, that would be it resolved, what the resolution is resolved to do. And there's been a second, I hear from the floor. So there has been, as I see it, due discussion on the motion, and so we are ready to make a vote on the motion. As you see in our party rules, motions are ruled on by voice vote, and this time we check. Oh, excuse me, vote on the amendments. You're correct. Thank you, Costas. So we need to vote on the amendment to the motion. Okay. But there needs to be discussion on that amendment. Was there someone that wanted to speak on that amendment? Yes, sir.
Mike. Point of privilege.
That's actually a different motion, so we need to consider our motions as they're heard here. So, there is there any other discussion on the amendment to the motion? Okay. Okay, I'll ask if people have discussion if they can move to the microphones, please. So there's been
personal.
Okay, there has been. Excuse me.
We can't hear him. Can he have a mic, please?
Yes, I've asked people in the future to move to the microphone. Thank you. Okay, we have our third point of discussion. Mr. Winkler from the 5th District. Ed, Henry, we need you to come to the microphone, please. Henry, we need you to come to the microphone, please. Sir, could you let Mr. Winkler speak, and then go ahead.
Preparatory to accept the motion, would you give us an estimate of the time it will take to read the summaries?
I will do my best to estimate that each resolution has at least be it resolved. There's 1 be it resolved paragraph, and some there are 2. So 9 resolutions, there are at least 9 paragraphs, probably 15 paragraphs that will be read, I would estimate. So this is our final point of discussion, as I see it, sir.
Could you just please read the titles of the resolutions that were declined?
That's a different
It'll be
motion.
later. This is a different motion.
That is a different motion. We have to have discussion and rule on this motion first, okay? We need to close discussion on this motion and on this amendment to the motion. The amendment is to, the motion is to read the resolutions. The amendment to the motion is to only read the be it resolved sections of the resolutions. That is the motion we are voting on, the amendment to that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Was that for the amendment or for the main
So then
motion?
we need to vote on the main motion.
Mr. Chair, I call for a division of the assembly, please.
Division's been called. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. When division is called, we're gonna have to rise from our seats. The staff has signs. We are gonna have to go to different sections of the room and count heads.
I'd like to propose that you read the resolutions that were denied, or a summary of them.
Okay, everyone, we have to respect parliamentary procedure here. We are making different motions. So there's an amendment, there's a motion that has been voted on. Okay? The amendment to the motion has been called for division, whether we read the full resolutions or whether we read the be it resolved. We could also do it by standing vote.
Standing vote. Please.
Okay, so the amendment, what we are standing on is the amendment to the motion, which governs whether we are reading the resolutions through the be it resolved or the resolutions in their entirety. Okay?
Which is
So,
which?
sorry, what was that?
Which is which? Yay and nay?
The amendment to the motion was to just read the be it resolved sections. So rising means you just want the be it resolved sections to be read. So in that manner, those of you wishing to only have the be it resolved sections of the resolutions to be read, please stand. Any volunteers to help count heads in each district, please?
I'll count heads.
Staff and volunteers of our Sergeant at Arms can help.
That was an old joke. That's right. I'm sorry. Somebody else. Oh, okay.
Just for personal protection. Because currently, at least some Bernie delegates don't know that there was even considered. There was even considered a superdelegate resolution. So I feel like we had at least two. Yeah. And but one was tabled and one was just outright.
Nobody sponsored it, so it was outright dead.
Yeah. No, I thought the one that they didn't sponsor. I'm confused.
For which ones? For what?
I thought there was only two resolutions.
For delegates?
Yeah.
Super delegates?
Yeah.
There were two.
One was defeated 11-2. The other was tabled.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then the other one regarding what was the one that nobody sponsored and it just died?
Campaign financing, that one?
That one.
Really?
That one went through resounding.
Oh, yeah. That's what my memory is
Oh,
not.
you're right, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was another. I don't know what the third one was, but nobody sponsored it, so it died right away.
I thought it. Yeah.
Because it was Tyler's, and John didn't pick it up. Nobody sponsored it, so they didn't bring it to the floor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. What is that? Similar to
It just died. Nobody sponsored it. Right after campaign finance, where everybody voted. I think I left.
How are you?
Mary Lou.
I'm only half kidding. But I don't know. How do you want to ask that?
Are there any numbers remaining? The 9th district, I think, was still out.
Otherwise, he was
They didn't read it, so we don't know.
Oh yeah, we don't know what it was because they don't read it until somebody sponsors it and brings it to the floor, so we have no idea what it was. But I think it was probably the third one Tyler did. Because nobody sponsored it.
Naked down around.
What was the third one?
I actually didn't believe it was John. He was right in front of me.
So it was
The chairman. And I didn't know who he was.
but I don't remember what the
That's kind of shameful.
He was mostly
yeah, the third
Okay, we have a count. Yes. I want to see this.
count.
Okay. So we're adding 18. Okay, are there any remaining, those standing? Or as a reminder, those that stood, wish the motion to be amended to read the resolutions in the be it resolved, just the be it resolved sections. Any remaining numbers? Okay, that number came to 883. There's 1,073 votes needed to pass that amendment, so the amendment fails. Okay? So the main motion then is to read the resolutions in their entirety.
No.
So, hey, folks, this is the motion. We've discussed it. So we're going to vote on the motion to read. The motion is read the resolutions that were included in the committee's report in full. That is the motion. It's been a point of order.
Without calling for the no votes, you cannot declare a motion defeated by Robert Rules of Order.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can we say that again, please?
You declared the amendment defeated, but...
So you're saying we need to count heads for the noes?
You need to have heads for the noes because people can't abstain, so the total number needed only needs to be over half of the total count of voting.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a point of clarification on that. Miss, I appreciate your point of order. My ruling is that the yea votes, we're not required to call for the noes if the yea votes are not sufficient to gain a majority.
Excuse me, we do not know. Just because we had so many people registered does not mean we have that many people voting because people can abstain. So it only needs to be, by Robert's Rules of Order, the majority of those voting, not total delegates.
The total number of delegates here. I'm told that is what we did. We had a credentialed number, 2,100.
No.
Excuse me, ma'am. If I could finish, thank you. We had 2,146 delegates credentialed to this convention today.
That is correct.
So the majority vote, you need at least 1,073 votes.
No, when you're voting on something, according to Robert's Rules of Order, it's according to the number voting, not the total number of people as delegates, because people have the right to abstain, and they are not counted at all.
See, part of... I'm not even going to say that.
Mayor, point of order has been heard. Our parliamentarians and I agree that this is my ruling is that this has had a clear vote, yes or no. And those that are no have remained standing. We have a clear vote of yes. For 883 votes, 883 votes is not enough to achieve a majority on that amendment to the motion. So we will move now toward voting on the motion, which is, the motion is to read the resolutions that were included in the report of the Permanent Credentials Committee to be read in full. All those, we do, as a reminder, we do those by voice vote. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye!
All those opposed?
No!
Motion fails.
Yay.
Mr. Chairman.
So,
Mr. Chairman.
we are not at a point of discussion now unless it's a point of order.
No, were you even in that meeting? Did you know?
There are no, you're offering a motion, Mr. Winkler? Okay, I'll hear your motion, please.
I move that we, by acclamation, accept the rules as written.
I second that.
Well, okay, so the motion has failed to read the resolutions in their entirety. Mr. Winkler from the 5th District has made a motion to accept the report of the Resolutions Committee as reported by Prima Fowler, correct? Okay. All right, is there discussion on the motion? Oh, excuse me, is there a second? So, There is a second. Discussion.
I make a motion for an amendment to the approval pending reading the summaries of the...
Oh my God.
We've already heard that motion. That motion has been defeated, so we cannot bring back the same motion again. So, this is, remember, 2 1-minute rounds, so there are 4 speakers on each motion. Sir.
Sorry, this is from earlier when I was out of line. Just simply read the titles of the motions that were defeated. That's the title. That'll take 10 seconds.
So,
read the title
sir,
of the motions.
I understand what you're saying. You're offering a new motion while we're in the middle of another one. Okay, so that's parliamentary procedure. Okay, is there further discussion on this motion? Mr. Hanscom from the 7th District.
I would just offer this point of discussion. We have 3 wonderful statewide candidates that we are here to nominate today, and I would love to get them up on this stage and hear what they have to say to our convention.
Okay, that is two points of discussion. Is there a third? Okay, question's been called. Second, all those in favor of moving to question signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion is accepted and moved to question. We'll vote on the motion, and the motion is to accept the Resolutions Committee report as reported by Karima Fowler. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. The committee report's adopted. Okay, thank you everyone. I'd like to move back to the Freddie made a mistake, moved further along in the agenda than I should have. And Trent came up here, Trent Deckard came up here to report our credentials. Trent, I'm going to ask you to come up and give that report again because I failed to ask for an adoption of that. It's the Credentials Committee's job to report to the convention. I want to make sure we are solid on our credentials and making sure that that committee report's adopted. It's been heard by the Credentials Committee.